I can remember October 2003 so vividly it's scary, which is honestly fitting for the Halloween season. This was an extremely important time in my life, and I have so many amazing memories from these few years living here. But what made October 2003 so significant? Okay, look, just stick with me for a couple minutes here. Fast food kids meal toys were so cool to me as a kid. You mean I get a free meal with this toy? Every month or so they changed them up and offered toys based on whatever new thing was popular. I always looked forward to seeing what exciting new promotions would be coming up. There was definitely a strong correlation between my desire for fast food and my interest in the new limited toy line. In the late 90s, early 2000s, Burger King was usually my favorite fast food stop. Not because I liked their food more than anywhere else, but because they typically had more promotions that I cared about. I mostly wanted the Pokemon toys, the fries were just an added bonus. I have a few of these still. I really wished I had saved some more from other promotions. Maybe someday I'll track some of these down. In August of 2003, it was announced that Burger King would be offering Halloween-themed Hamtaro toys from October 6th to November 3rd. Hamtaro is an anime from the early 2000s based on these books from the 90s. There were also a bunch of video games, some of them even published by Nintendo. It was about these pet hamsters called the Hams, who went on funny little adventures together. Even though I only caught a few episodes as a kid, I've always had a soft spot for the series. The characters are a lot of fun, and I always liked seeing what wacky shenanigans they would get themselves into. These Halloween Burger King toys were based on the upcoming Halloween special, and the costumes the characters wore in the episode. We're gonna talk about the special here in a bit, but I want to take a few minutes to talk about these toys. So what's cool about these is that they're sort of like two toys in one. All of the costumes come off, so you have monster versions for Halloween and regular Hamtaro guys for the rest of the year. I can't remember how many of these I had as a kid, but I know I definitely had Hamtaro. He comes with a cool little Frankenstein's monster mask, and this is probably my favorite of the bunch in terms of how they look. You can wind him up a couple of times, set him free, and watch him run directly off the side of the desk. I completely forgot how much noise these wind-up toys make. These are so loud. Boss has this two-piece alien costume that goes around him, and you have to wind him up and then let him spin. It's pretty cool. I have some old Pokemon tops that were like this. These were always really hit or miss with how well they could actually spin. This Meryl always worked really well, but some of these were really not great. Boss is pretty decent. I always felt like the lighter ones worked better, but the rounded spaceship part helps it a bit. Just don't try spinning him without the alien costume. Penelope is so funny, because she already normally wears a blanket over her head, and then she just puts on another one for her costume. You pull on the spider string, and then it'll start loudly vibrating. So far, every one of these toys has made a racket. I love it. I know I had this one as a kid too. This is probably the cutest of the set. Meanwhile, Elder Ham is probably the strangest. It's this tiny little plush that you shove inside this plastic werewolf thing. Not really amazing, but I like how the ears poke out. The plush itself also has a weird pouch on the back. I don't know what this could possibly be for, but there it is. Panda is another stuffed animal, and I think this one's quite a bit better. It's much larger, the skeleton costume doesn't completely cover up the funny hamster. I'm pretty sure this used to be glow in the dark if I remember right. And on top of that, this is a little keychain guy. Big Panda fan. Bijou's a cute one too. First of all, the pigtails still stick out when in the witch costume. That's very important. She holds this little glowing sunflower seed, and when you put on the costume, she's holding a tiny cat with glowing eyes. Of course, this toy is nearly 20 years old now, so it doesn't actually glow anymore. Oh my god, this was 20 years ago. I'm old. I'm gonna be looking like this guy soon. Cappy's eyes used to glow red, but once again, these toys are very old, and so am I, apparently. I could probably unscrew these and replace the batteries, but I don't feel qualified for hamster surgery. I'm not gonna risk it. Cappy has a two-part pumpkin mask, and this is actually the only incomplete one that I have. I'm missing the back of the pumpkin. To be fair, though, I do have a perfectly complete unopened Cappy, but I don't want to tear this thing open just for the back of a pumpkin mask on a toy that doesn't even light up anymore. My loose Cappy will be fine without it. The last one is Oxnard, and this is such a bizarre one. So he has this spider costume, and there's a pumpkin seed pull string. You pull on the string and hold the button to make him zip back up, like a spider, you know? Here's the thing, though. He can't stand up in the spider costume, which is extremely, mildly inconvenient when trying to display them all together. Boss struggles too, but he can at least lean back a bit. Oxnard's gotta be flat on his back. Burger King really should have thought ahead and considered that some weirdo might want to display these cheap children's toys on a shelf decades in the future. Oxnard can stand up without the spider on, but that big pumpkin thing's not going anywhere. And you know what? If we're gonna do it, let's go all the way. Let's talk about the packaging for these things, because somebody has to document the Hamtaro 2003 Burger King Halloween toys packaging, and I guess it's gonna be me. My day canceled. I have no plans for tonight. I love packaging for stuff like this because it's a free toy, you don't need to make neat packaging with it, but someone did and that's awesome. I love the art of all the characters around the information they're legally required to include, it's really cute. As with any toy, we suggest you provide guidance and supervision to your children regarding proper use of this toy. Mom? Dad? I think I need parental supervision. And now for the little booklet. Each one has instructions on how to properly play with the toy that you got, explaining the deep mechanics of things like pull the string. I'll play with this how I want, you can't tell me what to do. We have art of all the other toys, so you'll want to go back to Burger King for the rest of the set. I really wish credits existed for stuff like this. I want to know whose job it was to draw pictures of the Hamtaro Halloween Burger King toys. And on the back we have the official Burger King Big Kids membership application. Being a Burger King kid means lots of intense fun. Sadly, I'm older than 12, so I'm not allowed to sign up. I'm simply too big of a kid. I also found some scans of Burger King's activity book from this time, which, again, I love when companies go the extra mile when they don't have to. This is great. And we get all of this artwork of the characters in their costumes, as well as nice, clear promo images of the toys themselves. I love this. So, getting back to what I was talking about earlier before my hamster toy tangent, I have a lot of really fond memories from October 2003. I remember having fun carving pumpkins with my family, even if I thought the insides of pumpkins were really gross. I of course always looked forward to the seasonal Halloween cereals, Count Chocula easily my favorite. This was during the time where I was really into soccer. Here I am going in for a good game, knowing full well it was not a good game and we completely destroyed the other team. It was also the time in my life where I was taking guitar lessons. Did I ever stick with it? No. My Halloween costume that year was this cool spider that my mom made, and the fake arms would actually move with my real arms. One of the coolest costumes I ever had. I went out trick-or-treating on Halloween night with my close friends, the real Pikachu and Incredible Hulk. It was such an amazing season. Okay, but what does any of this have to do with fast food hamster plastic? Me and all my friends loved these things. They were so cool, and we were trying to collect all of them during this short window. Throughout this time period, Halloween Hamtaro toys were the common thread stringing all of these different memories together. They were present in some form during all of those moments. Holding this anime hamster wearing a Frankenstein's monster mask brings back all of those memories from that time. All of those small moments with my friends and family. I loved these things, and I still do. They're actually pretty high quality for free kids meal toys. Looking back, no limited promotional fast food toy line has ever quite meant to me what the Hamtaro set does. I have so much nostalgia for these hamsters, and having the whole set 2 decades later brings me more joy than it probably should. We're gonna take a short break, and then we're finally gonna talk about the Halloween episode that these things were based on. We'll be right back.
We want your big kids meal. Not so fast, Harry. I'll get your double cheeseburger yet.
Hamtaro Halloween Special premieres next on Shocktober, only on Cartoon Network.
Despite my obsession with the tie-in Burger King toys, I honestly barely remember the Halloween special, Ham Halloween. I'm not even positive I've seen it until now. Fun fact about this special, it's actually the only episode in the series to air in the US before Japan. We got it on October 21st over here, while it aired in Japan 10 days later on Halloween. Another fun fact, this is the last new episode that we got in America. The English dub only covered 105 of the 296 episodes that Japan got. It's sort of strange they did this big Burger King tie-in right as the series was on its way out in the US, but it's a nice send-off, I suppose. It's a shame they didn't finish the series. I actually really like the voices in the English dub. There's hamsters who sound cute, there's hamsters who sound cool, there's hamsters with French accents, there's even hamsters voiced by Ed from Ed, Edd and Eddy.
Very true. Not to mention that she might not even want to be friends with the Hams.
The English dub is great. It's always been my preferred way of watching Hamtaro. Anyway, let's finally talk about this Halloween special. The episode begins with Hamtaro discovering his owner, Laura, is going to something called a Halloween party, and the Hams learn all about what Halloween is from the elders.
So tell us, what did you dress up as, Elder Ham?
It was absolutely unforgettable. I forgot.
They decide to have their own Halloween party and start constructing their costumes. And I have to say, after all these years, it's really cool to finally see the animated versions of these toys. There's a few differences between the designs. Here, Bijou doesn't have a mask for her witch costume, and Oxnard is actually able to stand up in his spider suit. Sure wish the toy could do that. Boss isn't shaped like a top, but he does actually do a little spin, so that's pretty awesome. And there's a couple characters that didn't get toys. Night Howdy and Pirate Dexter would have been cool to see. The Hams get a mysterious invitation to a Halloween party in the woods, and we cut away to see what Laura is up to.
And you look like a princess. Well, I really wanted to go as a toothbrush, but I looked more like a broom.
You wanted to be a toothbrush. Finally, we have a character that I can relate to. The human segments are fine, but I always liked the awesome hamster stuff more, so let's just jump ahead a bit. They're in the spooky woods now, and they find a bunch of jack-o'-lanterns and a mysterious phantom hamster. Spoilers, it's later revealed that this is Auntie Viv, but also, what? She can just fly?
Are you for real or what?
This would have made such a cool toy, why didn't we get her? They start running away like any rational cute hamsters would do, but then they realize Elder Ham is with them in disguise. I guess nobody recognizes him, and he tells them that he's the Wolf Ham and starts joining in the chase. So now they're all scared, they get separated in the woods, and they keep running into each other and scaring each other because the costumes are just so scary. This goes on for a while. Boss uses his ultimate move, and it's revealed that they were tricked the whole time! The Hams catch Auntie Viv, and they get to have an awesome Halloween party. That's awesome. There was more stuff with the human characters, but my brain switches off when I'm not seeing hamsters. That's beyond Hamtaro too, I just mean in general. Hamtaro does this awesome dance throughout the credits. That's super cool, big fan of everything happening here. And that's the end. I know I spent a lot more time talking about the tie-in toys for this episode than the episode itself, but I really don't have a whole lot to say about it. It's pretty cute, and it's cool to finally see where these toys came from. You know, there's a lot of takeaways you could have from this. Hamtaro's a cute little show. Old Burger King toys were awesome. But there's one major takeaway I want to leave you with. This Halloween, go make some memories. Whether it's a big Halloween party or something as simple as going to Burger King with your family. No matter how small or seemingly insignificant, because 20 years from now, those memories might mean a lot. Happy Halloween, everyone. It's Hamtaro time.
It's Hamtaro time.